There are lots of things that I think I could look past and carry on with my life. Although some of the scenes in Higurashi may not be one of them, especially with the bond that they all now share. They're all one part of the crime that is being covered up. Even if it was out of passion and protecting one's family. There is a limit of what friends can agree to do for one another. I don't know where this little story arc thing is going to go. I'm worried about it. But more than anything, I'm curious to see how it ties back to anything we've seen before. And with the danger and darkness that is going on in this little village, I'd like to say that I don't believe I'd be shocked by anything that comes to light now, but that would be a lie. So, whether you think you're ready or not, grab a drink, and let's begin. Clawing out the throat again. We saw a certain detective at the end of the last episode, but now we actually seeing the investigation going on with the... Is this the photographer? Now, why would he be swinging around 2x4s and then clawing out his... Tomodachi. Clawing out his throat. Are they going to find a barrel? And how is this connected? And why would he come out with that immediately? Ah, right, yeah, he's just following along with the tradition of the village. So it's just a precautionary measure, just in case, you know. Not that he would immediately just believe the curse has happened again, but, you know, cover all bases. I've asked it before. I'm glad it's being somewhat covered. The idea that Tomodachi clawed his throat out. It's not just, you know, he was bored one evening and therefore decided to see what it felt like. Something happened that surrounded it. It's just, are we actually going to be shown that? And adding in the extra details, like there were bruises all over him. There was wood nearby that was used as a weapon, whether defensive or not. Who was the other party involved, if there was one? And knowing how many seasons of Higurashi there are, what the hell is going to happen, is going to be shown off further on down the line? Okay, there's playing some weird version of Cluedo or something. What was it, a machete? I was about to say, is there someone out front? And this time, rather than Keiichi being the one that he's relying on, asking a bunch of questions to, she's person of interest number one. Oh. I mean, with a village this kind of small, is it surprising that they at least know them? Small things, change of attitude. Is this something he should divulge? I know he told everything to Keiichi, but... Well, I mean, not everything, but a lot of things. Oh. Either this is a blast from the past, or she is actually... okay. Is that where she got the 3 books from, then? This is a... we know that they were kind of interested in the history of this place and what's been going on, and... the curse. How much did she actually figure out? It's the... Onikafuchi? Huh. So, if that's beyond the main families... demons gushing from the swamp. So now what, are we going into doppelganger territory? It's not that we're getting new timelines, it's that each of them are no longer who they were, but demons from the swamp. No one's to be trusted. It's the voices in the shadows, the ones walking behind you. The movement out the corner of your eye. And so because they left, it followed her. Although that does just seem like a... because of her circumstance rather than any curse. Maggots came out mixed with blood. Yeah, that's a wound you definitely want to get looked at. Why maggots? What? Ah, good thing she didn't get a slight scratch on her neck then. So it all comes back to the village. The taboo of not leaving and her being forcibly returned through threat of infection and maggots. So she knows a lot more than she's giving on. There'll be repercussions. Yep. And then, yes, to just give her book and research out so nonchalantly after that kind of message, and also having this conversation aloud in a public place. if you're worried about disappearing. Concerning the maggots and the curse. So what she described to her wasn't exactly just some weird... The bush is calling. Wasn't some weird psychosis or anything, but an actual... This secrecy behind a bush. I mean, if they made the nurse lady thing disappear, then... I've forgotten what I was saying. But with the idea that this curse, there's a way to drag you back into the village, the taboos are a lot more real than just rules. Ah, I see. I've got a lot going on in my head at the minute. I want to have a read of those scrapbooks. Although I feel that that would give away a little much of what's actually going on. Quick, quiet. Or it could just be someone going to the shops. So, are we getting back the White Van Men? They haven't really played too much of a big part. I do want to know their role in all of this as well. So already turning the suspicions onto me on the like. And what happens if the entire village and the legends become practiced like they used to? What's with the zoom-ins and the noise cues? There seems to be a timing for all of them. And the fact that she's ducking and diving behind some foliage at every noise now. Is she gonna go a little paranoid? Is he the only one that she can have a bit of faith in right now? It's definitely made things difficult. Remember they made that pledge in the bond? They... Is that hazards? Sorry, he doesn't want it sweets or puppies. Okay, well, at least now that he knows they're after a certain person, certain dress. I mean, just a very good disguise. Plus now he knows how to tell her. He can tell her, just change what you wear. They wouldn't be looking for... What's that joke looking like? Clown in Vietnam. Is this something you should be discussing over the phone? So the religious fanaticism is definitely a thing. But how does it... Yeah, can you put it in simpler terms? Then what is it that is hiding behind you in the dead of night? Just a set of rules of what stays in the village, or what happens in the village stays in the village. Always to return. And the swamp again. A few times it was mentioned, like people falling in and going missing. And there was demons coming out of it. Parasites. Right, so now we're just talking about, I don't know, prions and stuff like that. It's cool, we're getting a parasite affecting people's perceptions and actions. So why did Keiichi fall to it so quickly in the first bit we saw? Telepathy? I'm not sure I know what that term is. So it's like a containment zone. If there's a parasites which spread and cause people to go insane, that would be why the homesickness is like, come back. We can only survive there. How long can the parasites survive outside of the area? Because if you're constrained, maybe they would die out over time, and then you're free of the curse. There is a way out. So, a really weird way of containing it all. What is up with her eye there? That would kind of... A lot of the... That would explain the cotton drifting shit then. So who was cutting open Rika from what we saw in one of the previous ones? But yeah, who have we seen go insane so far? Rena, a little bit. Shion, who's been outside of the village and out away from everything, and Keiichi, who's new. The ones that wouldn't potentially have some antibodies and protection from the parasites. Now we're going... Some curse, demons, just people's own mental disorders to parasites controlling it all. And is there something in the dump that can actually solve it all? I mean, you can drop hints, not too much to make you know as though, or make them know that you might know what's going on. Gauge their reactions. Hey, Mion, have you ever heard of a parasite? Until the day he isn't on your side. Or when she thinks that he isn't. We already know that she is infected, considering she was forced to come back. Oh. Why are they allowed in school grounds? Just, give them a prod. Do you actually see that? Is that van actually there? It was actually there. Just no one else is paying attention. Let's hope it wasn't just someone here delivering letters and parcels that just looks, suspiciously similar to the one that was following her. Just landscapers. Double check, you might have pressed the wrong button. Maybe you need, an O or something to dial out. She had places to be. And what did any of them say when she just dipped? If she just gets up and leaves class while they're standing there, or maybe if they're on lunch or something, just disappears. No? Nothing? Just take this as normal then. But adding in a parasite that controls one's actions, drives them insane, with her what other symptoms and side effects are there? Maybe the gas leak to wipe out the village was for the best. Maybe it was less of a natural geological phenomenon and more purposefully caused. But if they are really looking out to try and revive the ways of old, she must have been very secretive about all of the investigation to fill out those scrapbooks and notes. This show just loves to throw in a curveball, doesn't it? To begin with, it's just, there's a curse going around. Someone gets killed, someone gets spirited away. Okay, I can understand that, and why Katie would go a little paranoid about him being one chosen. Oh, now we're adding in body control and demons. Oh, all right. And secretive organizations, prophecies, kidnapping. Not sure how that one really goes into what I'm saying, but whatever. And now it's all parasites. I like how it throws in bits and pieces. For instance, say the demon body possession. Then we realise, oh, hang on, it's just a misunderstanding from how we saw it. It was actually Shion, the twin, not a demon possessing Mion. Okay, understood. Now we're throwing in, oh, there's not really some random curse, potentially. It's a parasite that drives people crazy, and then to mitigate the damage, you get rid of them after they cause a death or something. Then you've got to protect the village and inoculate them all with the cotton drifting festival, which is a way to immunize yourself by eating intestines of the infected. What? I mean, you got to have a balanced diet. Throw in some liver or lung. And if the parasites can cause feelings of homesickness and drive them back to the village because that's the ideal environment and temperate for the parasites, what else can they actually do? Can they change someone's personality? Are the moments that we've seen in previous storylines where they go a little funny a symptom of these parasites where the host themselves are unaware that they're doing it? I mean, we know for a fact that at least one of the conditions is probably obsession. If not Shion over her missing love. And Keiji of thinking that everyone is after him. But what about these men in a van? Are they just charged with making sure no one leaves? Is that just an extra lever of protection? Now that she's figuring stuff out, we need to nip that in the bud. Curiouser and curiouser. I do like that the show itself is making us as viewers feel as though we're also losing our minds slightly. Is there a parasite that is just lingering around, amplified by this show? I wish I knew, really. One thing I am sure on is I have no idea how this is going to end. Just, there's not going to be a nice way out where everyone can live a happy life, not while the village exists as it is. Are we going to get any closer to the mystery of what actually occurred behind with the photographer, Tomatake? I'd say about 5 minutes before the whole situation. Yeah, that I'd be happy with that. If you're eager to see what else there is, what more, let me know. If you already know what's going on and are just enjoying the ride along with me and seeing my face, I hope you get what you wished for. Either way, leave a comment and maybe a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel to make sure not to miss more, especially since we're almost finishing off of this season. But for now, get yourselves a bit of rest. So I definitely need to see you in the next one. My patrons really are more than just a scrapbook of notes. They've helped me with much more than I could have ever imagined. Even if there aren't parasites invading my channel, I do need to thank the likes of Noku, Sal, Doltrofan, Guado, Kite, Raywin, Wolfie Sensei, and everyone else. For if it wasn't for them, I'd still be shouting at every metaphorical shadow, with the curse lingering just over my head.